Hello and welcome to the second episode of this series where we are making our very own Space Rock shooter game in Scratch. Last episode we worked on movement where we made sure our shooter's movement looks smooth and clean. This episode we're going to work on shooting bullets. Okay, so let's get started and I'm just going to paint my own sprite. This will be called the bullet sprite and it shouldn't be very big, and I'll just do a yellow. Okay, that looks small enough. And make sure you just snap it to the center of the grid like that. And that should be all you need for the drawing. Looks like it didn't save as bullet. There we go. Okay, so first of all, we need a bullet to spawn every time we click the space key. So we can just say when space key pressed with the bullet sprite, create clone of myself. That would be in control. Create clone of myself, and then we can just say when I start as a clone, go to the shooter sprite 1. And then just one final thing, when flat clicked, we can just say hide, and whenever a clone is created, we can show the clone, but never the original sprite. Okay, so now that we've started, we can see we're creating bullets wherever we go. So the next thing we would need to do would be the movement of the bullets. So let's figure that out. Okay, so for the bullets to go in the right direction, actually we can just see how it is now with a forever loop. We can say forever move 10 steps. So if we do that, they'll all just be moving 10 steps to the right, no matter which way the shooter is facing. So we need to fix this. And the way we do this is we need to make sure the bullet is facing in the sprite's direction. So what we actually need to do is create a global variable, so for all sprites, and we can just say shooter angle. And when flag clicked, we can set the shooter angle to 0. Or actually we don't need to do that as long as the original angle is not reset. So when our right arrow key is pressed, we can just say change shooter angle by 10, and when the left key is pressed, change shooter angle by -10. Okay, there we go. And so when we create bullets, we can just say turn right shooter angle, like that. So now if we try, we can see two problems. First of all, we are spawning way too many clones. Second of all, they are not going in the right directions at all. But this is mostly the same problem. And the reason is when we create a clone, this is cloning the actual clones. So instead of having this piece of code here, we can go to sprite 1 and change this to one space key pressed. Create clone not of myself, but of the bullet. So now when we try, it works fine, but it's still not exactly the way we want it. So the reason for this is our shooter angle is not exactly set to the correct value. So this is when it should be 0, and when we click shooter angle, you can see it's 560. So that's about a couple hundred degrees off actually. So we can just say set shooter angle to 0, right? And so now when we start, it goes right out of where we want it to go. Perfect. There is a delay, but if we just hold still and shoot, we are perfectly fine. Alright, great. So one more thing to do is, first of all, this is feeling pretty slow. We do want our bullets to be shot at rapid pace. So instead of just creating one clone of bullet, let's say repeat 4 times. And yeah, that looks a lot better. We're spawning a lot more clones, but we have just one more problem, and that is lag and a clone cap. There's actually a cap to the amount of clones you can make in Scratch. So eventually, we are going to reach that cap. So let's see if I can reach it here. Yeah, there, I've reached it. I'm clicking the spacebar, but no clones are being created because I've reached the clone cap. So what we need to do is we can say if touching edge, then we have no more use for the clones, so we can say delete this clone. And that should be it. So when we shoot around, there we go. And the clones instantly get deleted the second they hit the edge. The bullets are being shot in the right direction. Our movement is really nice. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Make sure you like the video and don't forget to subscribe.